Hi. Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. I'm glad that you're here. If you're here for the all levels vinyasa flow, yoga for change, welcome. We are going to get started in just a few seconds. I want to make sure that we can see the entire thing. But hi, everyone. So coming down into an easy seat, or Baddha Konasana, if your hips are nice and open. But even if your hips are not open, bring the soles of the feet together to kiss and let the knees jet out in opposite directions. If that's a little bit too much for the hips, go ahead and slide the feet out away from you. And if you're looking for a little bit more, send the heels close to the perineum. And just take a moment here to let whatever happened before this moment go. I always tell my students that my classes are a safe space for you to explore and play and adventure in your practice. And that's why this week's organization means so much, because it is the Brave Space Alliance. So while we create a space where you feel empowered and strong, and mentally and physically we are fine-tuning the instruments that we call ourselves. So Brave Space Alliance is the first Black-led and trans-led LGBTQ center located in the south side of Chicago. So this alliance is a vehicle for empowerment and to elevate the queer and trans voices, particularly the people of color in their community. So just like this community means so much to all of us, finding that time, that space, that safe space is the key element for you to explore and play and practice and live. So coming into an easy seat, allowing your thoughts to dissipate. Allow whatever happened before this moment go. Slowly starting to shut the eyes down, bringing awareness to your body and to your space. So not worrying about the breath just yet. Just take note of how you feel. Allow the mind to start to focus on everything inhaling and everything that's leaving through the exhale. Sharing with you my weekly mantra has been all about the relationship with oneself. The relationship with oneself reflects one relationship to the world. What that means is when we take the opportunity and the time to find that self-love, find that space within ourselves, we can then in turn be more kind and understanding and empathetic in the world around us. So keep that in mind. If your thoughts were chaotic like mine today, I'm placing my palms on top of the knees for more of a grounding practice. If you're ready to receive all this beautiful energy, plant the palms facing the ceiling. And if you're ready to move into an introspective practice to look within, place one palm on the heart center and the other palm underneath the low belly, feeling that prana, feeling that breath inside you. Starting to allow the shoulders to melt away from the ears. Allowing your breath to sweeten. Starting to create an intention in your head. Maybe that's a person or thing that inspires you. Maybe you're dedicating your practice to someone today. For me, I'm holding a safe space for the people around me who do not feel that their safe space is there. This practice is dedicated to the people around me who feel like they can't be themselves. Can they find that safe space within themselves? Can they find that acceptance on their mat through their breath? Starting to inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs, let the collarbone expand. Hold this breath at the top of the throat. And then open the mouth, audible exhale, let something go. We're in the comfort of our own homes here, so really fill up. Fill up with that goodness. Let that breath hold at the top of the throat, and then open the mouth, audible exhale, let something go. Inhale, starting to deepen these inhales and the exhales. Starting to seal the lips and create a slight constriction in the back of your throat. Spending a lot of time grounding into our practice today. Take one more full breath here. Exhale, start to blink the eyes open, bringing the palms on the outside of the thighs, and then slowly closing the knees together like a book. Exhale, release those knees back down, send the soles of the feet together. Start to grab the outside of the feet and then start to roll the knees, or move the knees rather. So just like a butterfly flapping its wings. Can you find some fluidity in those hips? Inhale, root to rise, reach all the way up. Start to send the gaze in between the palms. Take a slight back bend here, pressing the tailbone into the earth, sending the gaze towards the ceiling. Exhale, can you release the left palm onto the right knee? Plant the right palm into the earth. Inhale, take a halfway lift, grow nice and tall. Exhale, can you find a twist? Send the gaze behind the right shoulder. One more breath here. Inhale, fill the belly. And then exhale, release through center. Grabbing the outside of the feet, starting to create those big flaps with the knees. And then finding stillness. Inhale, gathering all this energy to work us through this practice. Exhale, release the right palm onto the left knee. Left palm comes behind you. Take a nice halfway lift, grow tall in the spine. Send the gaze behind the left shoulder. Allow that twist to happen. Allow the exhale to push a little bit further, twist a little bit deeper. We're here for one more breath. Exhale, release through center. Bringing the palms on the outside of the thighs, slowly closing the knees together like a book, and then coming down all the way onto the shoulder blades. We bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Bring the knees in towards the nose. Feel that core activate. Holding in stillness. And then releasing all the way down. We bring both heels high to the sky, creating an L shape with our bodies. Squeezing the thighs together and then making a mudra here, Kali Mudra or love guns. Bring your index fingers to point. Here in this Kali Mudra, can you lift from the chest, lift from the core, shoulder blades come off the earth. We're really reaching for the ceiling here. So start to send the low back onto the earth. We're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, squeeze those thighs together. 5, 4, 3, 2, holding at 1. While you hold here, can you press the index fingers closer towards the ceiling? Can you start to activate the core here? Feel that belly turn on. If you start to shake, that means you're getting stronger. One more breath. Take one more breath here with me. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, release the shoulders down, bring the knees into the chest, start to create those low back circles. First moving clockwise. And then switching the direction to counterclockwise. Inhale, both heels lift high to the sky. Create that Kali Mudra one more time. Index fingers are facing forward. Can you lift the shoulders off the earth? Lift from the chest and from the core. From here, we start to lower this right foot down. And then we start to bring the fingertips on the opposite side. So we're in an L shape, dorsiflexing the fins. You should feel a nice cross body stretch through the abs here. And we're going to pulse on this side for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees into the chest. Let that breath go. Start to create those circles again. We're getting nice and juicy in our core to really fire things up. Switching the direction to counterclockwise here, allow that low back to get lots of love. And then on the next inhale, both heels come high to the sky. Starting to release the left foot down to the earth, we're creating an L shape. Dorsiflex those fins, send the toes towards the shins. Inhale, start to lift the chest off the earth. Shoulder blades come off, reaching past the thighs, past the right thigh. So here we're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, you got this, yogis. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees into the chest. Let that breath go. Start to create those low back circles here. First moving clockwise, and then switching the direction to counterclockwise. I'm already getting sweaty. I can feel the sweat beading onto my forehead. Inhale, grab the underneath the thighs and start to rock up and down the spine. So finding some hang time in this rock and roll. Give yourself a nice big smile. And then when you're ready, coming up to that tailbone, bringing the knees nice and close towards the chest, give yourself a squeeze here. If that feels good, maybe you start to open up the palms towards the ceiling. Maybe you start to squeeze the thighs together and extend the legs, high boat. In this high boat, take one full breath. Can you lift the feet a little bit higher, lift the chest a little bit closer towards the ceiling? Holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, you got this, yogi. Squeeze those thighs together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Crossing at the ankles, coming into a tabletop pose. Woof, here we go. In this tabletop pose, take a look at your alignment. Wrists are directly underneath the shoulder blades. Knees are about hips width distance apart underneath the hips. Untuck the toes. Drop the belly low. Open up the chest. Bolster your heart towards the stars. Send the tailbone back. Exhale, plant into the palms, round the spine. Send the gaze towards the navel, protracting your shoulder blades. Inhale, drop the belly low, open up the chest. And then exhale, round the spine, send the gaze towards the navel, cat pose. One more round of cat cows, drop the belly low, open up the chest. Exhale, round the spine, send the gaze into the navel, push the earth away from you. Coming back to neutral. From this neutral tabletop, we start to plant both palms into the earth and start to lift this right heel high to the sky. Send the right toes towards the earth. We're bending at the knee. And as if you're stamping a stamp on the ceiling, can you pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Press the palms into the earth. 3, 2, 1. Active listening, bringing the knee all the way towards this right armpit. Think doggy on a fire hydrant. Can you press the palms into the earth? Find that flat back. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knee slides all the way down towards the wrist. And then back into that tabletop pose. One cat cow to reset. Drop the belly low. Open up the chest. Send the gaze high. Exhale, round the spine. Press the palms into the earth. Send the gaze towards the navel. Back to neutral spine. Slow and controlled, starting to plant both palms into the earth, and then starting to bring the weight onto this right knee, sending the left heel high to the sky. Bending into this knee as if you're stamping a stamp on the ceiling. We're pulsing here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll the knee all the way over towards this left armpit. Think doggy on a fire hydrant. Can you press both palms into the earth? Find that flat back. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start to lower this left knee down towards the left wrist. And then come back to that neutral tabletop. Maybe flipping the wrists over, bringing the tops of the hands down to the earth to give yourself a little bit of a hip action here, or wrist action. So moving out these wrists, maybe taking your time, moving into circles. Maybe you bring the tops of the hands onto the earth, the fingertips are towards one another. And maybe you start to rock back and forth, allowing enough weight onto those wrists, but be mindful here. And then releasing the palms down. Paying attention to those architectural lines. I'm starting to drip sweat, you guys. This is it. Palms come underneath the shoulder blades. Knees are underneath the hips. Tuck those toes. Rise 2.5 inches off the earth. Lifted tabletop hold. In this lifted tabletop, let's check in with our alignment. Send the gaze in between the palms. Find that slight protraction in your shoulders as if you're pushing the earth away from you. Gaze is in between the palms. Take a look at your knees, making sure they are in fact 2.5 inches off the earth. If this is enough for you, you can always stay. If you're looking for a little bit more, we're running through a few cat-cows. Drop the belly low, open up the chest, send the gaze high. Exhale, round the spine, gazes towards the navel. One more for good measure. Drop the belly low, open up the chest. Exhale, round the spine, send the gaze to the navel. Option to drop down to those knees. You are strong, holding for 3, 2, 1. Hips high to the sky. Ardha Konasana, downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, our feet are about hips width distance apart. We're pressing down into the base knuckle of the index finger and the thumb. Send the gaze towards the toes to elongate the neck. Maybe you get nice and groovy in this down dog by generously bending both knees. Walk it out. And if you have some issues with your low back, keep a slight micro bend in those knees. No shame in your game. Remember, there's no judgment on your backs. This is your body, your practice. Gaze is in between the palms. Slow and controlled, we're tiptoeing all the way towards the top of our mat. We're in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Plug those shoulders into the back wall. Slightly tuck the chin, think flat back. Think you have a plate of food, try not to spill. One more inhale. Exhale, slow and controlled, bringing the palms behind the neck. Watch out for your plant babies. And then exhale, release down using the core. Inhale, rise up, grounding down from the feet, really reaching with intention with those fingertips. Take a slight back bend, goal posting in the arms, sending the hips forward. Exhale through center. Swan dive, leading with the chest, hinging at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, high plank. Take a moment in this high plank. Just like that lifted tabletop, can you press the palms into the earth? Send the gaze between the palms and protract those shoulder blades here. Holding in stillness. You got this, yogis. You are strong. We're holding here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tuck those elbows in towards the ribs. Option to drop down to those knees, lowering all the way down onto the belly. Untuck the toes here. Send the elbows to magnetize towards one another. Bhujangasana, low Cobra pose. In this low Cobra pose, can you press the shoelace portion of the feet into the earth? Can you inhale, maybe lift the palms off the earth, send the elbows towards one another, turn that back body on. On the next inhale, can you lift the chest a little bit higher, feel the back bend. And then exhale, plant the palms into the earth, roll over the toes, downward facing dog, Ardha Konasana. Option to bend generously in both knees, walk that doggy dog out. And then exhale, come back through center. Finding stillness in this down dog, press the palms down, send the gaze towards the toes. Elongate the neck. One breath to reset. Inhale, both heels lift high to the sky. Exhale, sink them deep into the earth. Inhale, drishti or gazes in between the palms. We walk, step, jump, hop, or float to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach all the way up, reaching with intention. Think jazz hands. Palms come together to kiss. Take a slight back bend, sending the tailbone forward. And then exhale, swan dive, leading with the chest, hinging at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms high to low plank. You flow, you grow. Tuck those elbows in towards the ribs as you lower down. Chaturanga check-in. Upward facing dog this time. Pull the chest through. Plant the palms into the earth, but press the shoulders away from the ears and slightly tuck the chin. Squeeze those thighs together. They should be lifted off your mat. Inhale, fill the belly, look nice and high. And then exhale, start to send the gaze towards the right toes. Find a twist in the spine. Come back through center. Send the gaze towards the left toes. Back through center. Rolling over the toes, Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Here we go, yogis. Gazes in between the palms. Walk, step, jump, hop, or float. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach all the way up. This time we're grabbing for our left wrist. Grounding down into both feet, moving over towards the right side. From here, can you press into this left foot? Can you start to spiral your chest towards the ceiling? Take one full inhale. Exhale, maybe you sink a little bit deeper. Inhale through center. Exhale, grabbing the right wrist, grounding down into this left heel. Can you open up and spiral your chest towards the ceiling? Find expansion through this right lung. Take one more breath. And then exhale, maybe you sink a little bit deeper. Inhale through center. Exhale, swan dive, leading with the chest hinging at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms high to low plank. Chaturanga check-in. Tuck those elbows towards the ribs as you lower down. Upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Maybe you take a slight back bend here, sending the toes towards the back of the head. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, take a few deep breaths here. Feet are hips width distance apart. Palms are a little bit wider. Press the index finger and the base knuckle of the thumb down. Send the gaze between the toes. Start to tiptoe all the way towards the top of your mat. Feet are together here at the top of the mat, or maybe you have a slight internal rotation of the toes. We're bending down into the knee, rising up, Utkatasana chair pose. Sit your ass back in this imaginary chair. So take a look at your alignment here. If your knees surpass your toes, can you bring that butt back? Find the natural curvature of the lumbar spine. Gazes in between the palms. Allow the shoulders to melt down. And as if you're trying to rip your mat in two, can you ground down into these feet? One more breath. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, hold, stay, feel that fire. One more inhale, we're coming all the way up, bringing all the weight onto this right foot. And then slow and controlled, send the left foot back, finding yourself in a crescent lunge. So in this crescent lunge, both toes are pivoted towards the front. We're squeezing those thighs together, activating the glutes, creating a right angle with this right knee. Inhale, start to take a slight back bend here, follow the fingertips. And then exhale, come back through center. To find that balance, squeeze those thighs. Take one more breath. Exhale, pivoting this left foot. And then committing to the bend into this knee, warrior two. In warrior two, allow the right knee to be in line with the second toe. Shoulders come down towards the earth, away from the ears. Drishti or gaze is between the right fingertips. Take one more breath. Reaching for something you desire, peaceful warrior, commit to the bend in the right knee. In this peaceful warrior, can you spiral your chest towards the ceiling? Take one more breath. Exhale, keeping that bend in the knee, finding Parsvakonasana, extended side angle. So palm can come on the inside of this right foot. Think straight line here. Maybe you start to find expansion through this left lung and spiral your chest nice and high. Maybe you come in for a bind. Wherever you are, can you take one breath here? Exhale, straightening in the legs, using the core, and then bending back in for that warrior two. Just for a moment, allow the shoulders to melt down, gazes in between the right fingertips. And then exhale, straightening the leg this time. Reaching for something you desire, Trikonasana, triangle pose, send the gaze towards the left fingers. Inhale, reverse Trikonasana, straightening in both legs. Exhale, cartwheel the palms to frame this right foot. Taking a generous stance forward, pyramid pose. Before you melt the heart down, can you take a halfway lift? And then exhale, release. So that halfway lift is actually making a little bit more space here. So you allow your torso to come a little bit closer towards this right thigh. So if you have to literally think halfway lift, grow tall through your spine, and then you melt the heart down. If this is enough for you, you can always stay. If you're looking for a little bit more, maybe you start to lift the right toes off the earth. Find a nice, juicy calf stretch here. Maybe you start to walk the palms behind you, facing the back of your mat. Take one more breath. Exhale, releasing this right foot down towards the earth. Rising up for standing split. Left heel comes high to the sky. So in this standing split, I invite you to practice an adventure with some handstand hops. And if handstand hops are not for you, maybe you give it a try this time. Planting the palms into the earth and maybe just finding a little bit of a lift in your little kick switches. Maybe you hop on one foot. Maybe you play here. And remembering that handstand isn't the goal, but have some fun playing with some inversions. If you fall over, no worries, come back to your breath. And then when you're ready, if you're still in that standing split, left leg nice and high, start to release the left foot down to meet the right. Grab opposite elbows, feet are about hip-width distance apart, Ragdoll Pose. In this Ragdoll Pose, can we release the palms underneath the feet, finding Bhujangasana? So toes are coming towards the wrist, and we're gonna play with some weight distribution here. So from here, can you allow the weight to come onto the toes, allow your heels to rise. Trust yourself that you won't fall over, suck the core in, navel to spine, one more breath. Exhale, release the heels, toes come up. One more time, release the toes towards the wrist, send the heels nice and high, trust yourself here. Exhale, release. Planting both palms onto the earth and then bending down through the glutes, finding your way in a Malasana Yogi Squat. In this Malasana Yogi Squat, whoop, I'm nice and sweaty here, guys. Eventually, you'd like your toes to be facing forward, but if that doesn't work for you, go ahead and open them up to a first position. Bring the elbows in between the thighs, take a nice halfway lift. And then exhale, release this left palm down, open up, find a nice twist here. Option to find a bind behind you, lifting the chest nice and high. Exhale, release. One more breath, find that nice twist. Exhale, release. Both elbows come in towards the thighs, take a halfway lift. Exhale, right palm comes down, open up, send the gaze towards the left fingertips here. Maybe you come in for that full bind, grabbing for both hands, lifting the chest nice and high. Maybe you just stay here in that Malasana Yogi Squat and dance it out. Wherever you are, take one more breath. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, plant the palms towards the earth, coming into your either crow pose or choosing to jump back to your vinyasa. High to low plank. Tuck the elbows in towards the ribs as you lower down. Upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, child's pose, bring both toes towards one another. And start to send the chest towards the earth. Take this moment to slow the heart rate down. Maybe you towel off. Maybe you grab some water. Maybe you take this opportunity to come back to that intention that you set in the beginning of class. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, release. Inhale, start to walk the palms close to the body. Find your way into that downward facing dog. In this inverted V shape, can you start to tiptoe the toes all the way towards the top of your mat? You're in a forward fold. From this forward fold, either bring the feet together or maybe a slight internal rotation of those toes. Bending into the knees, rising up, sitting back in that imaginary chair, Utkatasana chair pose. Again, take a look at your alignment. If your knees surpass your toes, send that ass back. Find the natural lumbar curvature of the spine, gazes in between the palms, allow the shoulders to melt down. Take a few deep breaths here. You got this. Feel that fire within you. Squeeze the core in. As if you're trying to rip your mat in two, can you ground down in both feet? Starting to bring all the weight into this left foot, and then releasing the right foot back, finding that crescent lunge at the front of your mat. So in this crescent lunge, both toes are pivoted towards the front, creating a right angle with this left knee. Squeeze those thighs together, send the gaze in between the palms. Allow the shoulders to melt down the spine. We're here for 2 more breaths. Maybe you start to release the fingertips back, finding a slight back bend. And then coming back through center. One more inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, pivoting this back leg, and then committing to the bend into this left knee, warrior 2. In this warrior 2 pose, can you allow the shoulders to melt down? Send your drishti or gaze towards the left fingertips here. Reaching for something you desire, reverse warrior, commit to the bend into the left knee. Spiral the chest towards the ceiling, take one full expansive breath. And then exhale, releasing down, finding Parsvakonasana, extended side angle. Maybe you shorten your stance in this extended side angle. Trying not to dump all the weight into this left palm, maybe you start to find a bind. Wherever you are, can you press into this left palm, send the gaze towards the right fingertips. Maybe you open up and find expansion through this lung. Take one more breath. Exhale, rising up, straightening, and then committing back to that warrior 2. From here, we're straightening in the legs, maybe shortening our stance, reaching for something you desire. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Think of your body as it's in 2 panes of glass here. So slightly tuck the tailbone in, pressing the palm into the shin. If it's not to the earth, trying not to dump all the weight into this left palm. Inhale, reverse Trikonasana, reach behind you. Exhale, cartwheel the palm to frame this left foot. Take a generous stance forward. Before you melt the heart down, can you take a nice halfway lift? Exhale, start to release the chest down towards this left thigh. Start to send the gaze towards the right toes. Getting nice and juicy in this left hamstring. Start to breathe deeper. Start to lift the left toes off the earth to find a deeper calf stretch if that's in your practice. Inhale, left foot comes down, right heel lifts, standing split. In this standing split, can you start to send the right toes towards the earth? A bend into this left knee. Maybe you take a few handstand hops here. Again, if handstand hops are not for you, maybe you just try today. Maybe you start to tiptoe. Maybe you start to kick switch. Finding some hang time, some play time here. Do whatever feels good. And if you're with me just hanging out in the standing split, allow those right toes to face the earth. Take one more full breath here. And then exhale, release the right foot towards the left. Grab opposite elbows, Ragdoll Pose. In this Ragdoll Pose, allow the head to hang heavy. Finding that decompression in your neck and spine, maybe you start to rock back and forth. A micro bend in both knees, allowing the chest to kiss the thighs. We're here for one more inhale. Exhale, planting the palms down towards the earth. And then bending into the glutes, finding your way in that Malasana Yogi squat again. So in this Malasana Yogi squat, maybe you start to bring the toes forward. Maybe you place the elbows in between the thighs to lift the chest nice and high. Exhale, releasing this left palm down, opening up, find that twist again. Release down through center. Right palm reaches forward, left palm lifts nice and high, find that twist. Exhale through center. Starting to walk the palms down towards the earth. And then maybe finding that forward fold again. So option to play with some crow pose here if an inversion is in your practice, or an arm balance, Bringing the knees towards the armpits. We're creating a number 11 with our index fingers. So planting the palms into the earth here. And then starting to send the knees towards the armpits. Can you create a nice little shelf with your forearm and your tricep? Maybe one toe lifts off the earth today. Maybe two toes lift off the earth. Maybe no toes lift off the earth, and that's totally okay. Finding your journey through your vinyasa. Maybe you step back, hop back, jump back. High to low plank, tuck those elbows in towards the ribs, upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, downward facing dog, send the big toes together to touch. Child's pose. Bring the toes together to touch and allow the chest to melt down. This practice has got me all over the place, but let's take a breath to ground down here. This is our opportunity to come back to our breath. This is our opportunity to dial back in. Breathing as consciously as possible is a great way to bring ourselves back into the present. One more inhale here. Exhale, bringing the palms back, finding downward facing dog. That inverted V shape here. Bringing both feet together to touch at the back of your mat, zip up dog. Right heel lifts high to the sky, three-legged dog, scorpion tail, right heel towards left glute. If you're ready for that flip dog, can you press into this left palm? Start to flip your dog over, reaching for something you desire with the right palm. Press the hand into the earth and lift the chest nice and high. Exhale, release this right palm down. Three-legged dog, right leg high to the sky. Right knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, give that knee a kiss. Three-legged dog. Right knee to right elbow, make a connection, hold. Beautiful three-legged dog. Right knee to left elbow, cross body, hold. Three-legged dog. Right knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, plant the right foot in between the palms. Rising up for that Crescent Warrior here, both toes are pivoted towards the front. So just like we were here before, can you bring the palms into heart center this time? Launching into an airplane pose, press this right foot into the earth. Rising up, sending the palms back, maybe it's Warrior 3. Maybe you bring the palms towards the side and find a flat back. Wherever you are in this balancing pose, can you take one more inhale, lift the chest nice and high. Maybe you challenge yourself in this Warrior 3 to squeeze the biceps towards the ears, send the left toes down, slight bend in this right knee, take one more breath. Exhale, releasing this left heel down towards the right. Bring the palms into heart center here, take a few deep breaths. Allowing the shoulders to melt away from the ears, palms come into heart center. Slow and controlled, we're bringing the left heel all the way back, finding that Warrior 3 for just one more moment. Bending into this right knee, finding that Warrior 2, open up the arms, commit to the bend in this right knee. Reaching for something you desire here, Peaceful Warrior, extend, feel that outer rotation towards the hips. Can you take one full inhale here? Exhale, Parsvakonasana, extended side angle. Maybe this palm comes in front of the foot, maybe you send the gaze towards the left fingertips here. Maybe you come in for a bind, wherever you are, can you breathe here, take one more breath. And then exhale, releasing the bind, reverse Warrior coming all the way back. And then straightening in both legs, reaching for something you desire, hinging at this hip, finding Trikonasana triangle pose. In this Trikonasana, reverse Trikonasana, straightening both legs. And then exhale, commit to this bend just for a moment. We're straightening in both legs, sending the toes towards the left side of our mat. Grabbing both hips, bending into the knees, and then finding your wide-legged forward fold. So in this wide-legged forward fold, you have some options to play with inversions here if you'd like. If you're with me, I'm bending into the knees, Coming in for a halfway lift. And then allowing myself to find Skandasana, skater's lunge at the back of my mat. In the skater's lunge, allow the glutes to come down to the earth, but make sure these right toes are facing the ceiling. Maybe the glutes stay nice and high. Take one halfway lift. Exhale, switching, bringing the weight towards this right knee, and then sending the left toes towards the ceiling. Find a nice center line stretch. Maybe you press the heel into the earth, lift your chest nice and high. Exhale to stand, rise all the way up, pivoting both toes towards the front of the room, and then cartwheeling the palms to frame this foot. Launching right into pyramid pose, can you take a step forward? Inhale, halfway lift, grow tall through the spine. Exhale, melt the chest down towards this right thigh. So coming into flamingo pose from here. Option 2, if you're nice and groovy here and like to stay in this pyramid pose, you're more than welcome. We're bringing our palms behind us to face the back of the mat. Starting to bring the weight into this right foot and then send the left toes nice and high, flamingo pose. Gaze goes towards the back of the mat. Take a halfway lift here. Exhale, release through that flamingo. Palms come to frame this right foot. Can you slide the right foot all the way back, maybe keeping it lifted for a one-legged chaturanga? Tuck the elbows in towards the ribs, lower down, upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, downward facing dog. Both feet come together to touch at the back of your mat, zip up dog. Press both palms into the earth, send the gaze towards the toes. Find that neck elongate here. Maybe you have a slight bend to the knees if your low back is giving you some issues. Inhale, left heel high to the sky, three-legged dog, scorpion tail, left heel towards right glute. If that left armpit shoots up towards the ceiling, can you square it off towards your mat? Ready for that flip dog, ground down into this right palm, reach for something you desire with the left. Can you press this right palm into the earth to lift your chest nice and high? Slow and controlled, left palm comes down, left foot lifts, three-legged dog. Left knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, give that knee a kiss. Three-legged dog. Left knee to left elbow, make a connection, hold. Three-legged dog. Left knee to right elbow, cross body hold, feel those obliques work. Three-legged dog. Left knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, plant the left foot in between the palms. We're rising up for Crescent Warrior here. Take your time. Creating that nice right angle with this left knee. Squeeze those thighs together, activate the glutes, let the shoulders melt away from the ears. We're grounding down evenly into both feet so we can zip up through the pelvic floor. One more breath here. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, plant the palms into heart center. Launching into warrior 3 here. Grounding down into this left foot. Can you rise all the way up, finding your warrior 3, allowing yourself to teeter down. Keep an up dog quality in your chest here, a slight bend in this left knee. The right toes are facing the earth to square off the hips. Maybe you open up your palms to an airplane palm, or maybe you reach out in front of you, sending the biceps towards the ears. Find that flat back, lift the chest, up dog quality. Take one more breath. Exhale, releasing the right foot down, coming in Tadasana mountain pose, bringing the palms on the outside of the hips and allowing the shoulders to melt down. Maybe the palms come into heart center. Take a few breaths here. A moment of gratitude for our capable beating heart. Can you use your breath as a tool to slow the heart rate down? Inhale, coming back through center. And then taking one more breath. Starting to tilt forward, finding that warrior 3 again. Just for a moment, keep an up dog quality in the chest. And then allow that right foot to come all the way down. Spiral the arms open. Warrior two. Commit to the bend in this warrior two. Our left knee is in line with our second toe. Shoulder blades come to melt down. Reach for something you desire. Reverse warrior. Commit to the bend in the left knee. Parsvakonasana, extended side angle, bringing the left palm inside of the left leg. Send the gaze towards the right fingertips. Take one expansive breath here. Exhale, release. Maybe you come for the bind here. Maybe you move into bird of paradise. Wherever you are, can you ground down into the outside portion of your left foot? Take one more breath here. And then exhale, straightening in the legs, finding your reverse Trikonasana. Trikonasana, triangle pose, start to teeter down, bring the left palm down onto the thigh, send the gaze towards the right fingertips. In this Trikonasana, try not to dump all the weight into this left palm. Can you send the gaze nice and high? Reverse Trikonasana, reach behind you. Exhale, bending into warrior two for just a quick moment. Can you straighten in both legs, send the toes towards the right, grab both hips. A slight bend in the knees, wide-legged forward folds. Allow the chest to start to melt down towards the mat. From here, a few options to play. Maybe you find an inversion of your choice. Maybe you come with me for some Tadasana skater's lunge. So I inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, start to bend into this right knee, and then send the left toes towards the ceiling here. In the skater's lunge, can you lift the chest nice and high? Dorsiflex this left toe. Take one breath here. Maybe the right palm comes over top of that right thigh, and see if you can find the twist and the gaze towards the left fingertips. Exhale, release this left palm down, switching the weight towards this left knee, and then allowing the right toes to point towards the ceiling. Palms can come into heart center here, finding the skater's lunge. Take one more breath. Can you press the heel into the earth, lift the chest nice and high, find a nice deep stretch in the center line. Maybe you release this left palm down, finding that twist, open up. And then exhale, palms come into heart center, we're rising back up. Bending in both knees to avoid hyperextension, releasing the palms. Pivoting both toes to face the front of the mat, and then cartwheeling the palms to find a pyramid pose. So maybe you shorten your stance a bit, take a nice halfway lift, grow tall, lengthen through the spine, creating that space to allow the chest to melt down towards this left thigh. Again, if pyramid pose is enough for you, you can always stay. If you're looking for a little bit more, we're going to walk through flamingo pose. So bringing the left toes to come towards the body. We start to send the palms towards the back of the mat. Maybe you bring all the weight onto this left foot, and maybe you start to take the right toes towards the sky. Send the gaze towards the back of your mat. A few breaths exploring in this hamstring stretch. And then releasing that foot all the way down. Grab opposite elbows here, Ragdoll Pose, allowing the head to hang heavy. Rocking back and forth through this Ragdoll Pose. Finding some movement through the spine. And then bringing the feet together to touch at the back of your mat, or excuse me, in the front of your mat. The toes come together, we're bending down into the knee, rising up for Utkatasana chair pose. Our last chair pose of this sequence, can you start to send the hips back? If the knees surpass the toes, can you find the natural curvature of your spine? Sit in that imaginary chair, just like life yogis, when things get tough, we stay up. Ground down into those feet as if you're trying to rip your mat in two. One breath here, inhale, fill up. Exhale, sink 2 inches lower. Beautiful breath. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, sink 2 inches lower. Last one, I'm here with you, yogis. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, start to release the palms down to the earth. Come all the way down towards the glutes. And find your way into this high boat. So just like the beginning of class, we're coming full circle. Through this high boat, can you press the knees in towards the chest? Maybe you grab underneath the thighs and give yourself a nice little squeeze. This is a really fun kind of yogi drill to play with keeping that up dog quality in your chest and to play with keeping that nice straight spine. So maybe you start to lift the toes and then release. One more time, inhale, squeeze those thighs together, lift the toes. Exhale, release. Inhale, bringing the palms on to reach that imaginary beach ball here. Option to drop those feet to the earth if you'd like, or option to take a little bit of extra core here. So maybe you allow yourself to start to melt down towards the earth. Maybe you start to melt down into a low boat. Take your time here to play. And then allow the shoulders to come all the way down onto the earth. Bring both knees towards the ceiling here. We're setting up for some back bends. Here, maybe we bring the palms to slightly graze the tips of the heels for bridge pose. In this bridge pose, our toes are facing the front of the room. Pressing into all four corners of both feet and the palms, lift the hips nice and high, send the knees forward. Maybe you start to create a bind underneath you, and maybe you start to shimmy the shoulders a little bit closer to lift the chest nice and high. Maybe you're in a full wheel pose here. In that case, press your palms into the earth. Lift the chest a little bit higher. In this back bend for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the glutes down to the earth. Start windshield wiping the knees from side to side. One more back bend of your choice. If bridge pose is where you'd like to stay, you're more than welcome. If we're together for wheel pose, I'm going to walk us through that. So bring both feet to face the front of your mat and bring the palms on the outside of the shoulders, a little bit wider than the shoulders. Press the palms into the earth. Press all four corners of the feet down as well. Maybe you come all the way onto the crown of your head. Find that balance. If that feels good, can you, on the next inhale, press the palms down towards the earth. Find that wheel pose. You can send the gaze in between the palms. You can press the palms into the earth to allow your chest to lift a little bit higher. Holding in your back bend for 3, 2, 1. Slow and controlled, releasing down, taking your time here. And then bringing both knees into the chest, give yourself a nice squeeze. Rocking back and forth in a little bit of an egg pose. Moving in a clockwise direction, giving that low back the love it deserves. And then switching the direction to counterclockwise. Inhale, bring the right knee in towards the chest. Allow this left foot to drop down. Supine twist, right knee comes cross body. Bringing the palms out to create that T shape here. Can you ground down into both shoulder blades? Maybe this left palm comes towards this right thigh to guide the right knee down towards the earth. Can you find that nice release in the low back? Take one more breath. Exhale, coming back through center. Give yourself a center line squeeze, both knees in towards the nose. And then exhale, release the right foot down towards the earth. Left knee comes cross body, supine twist. Open up the palms towards the T. Bring both shoulders into the mat to press down. Maybe that right palm comes on top of the left thigh to give that left knee a little bit of help. Actively pressing down into your shoulder blades. Take one more breath here. Exhale, release both knees into the chest. Give yourself a center line squeeze. And then release both heels high to the sky, coming into your final inversion. So maybe your inversion of choice is legs up the wall, just like me when I bring my feet nice and high, creating that L shape. Maybe you come into headstand, tripod headstand, or even shoulder stand. Wherever you are in your inversion of choice, take your time. Allow the blood to flow down towards your hip. Take one more breath here. Exhale, releasing through that inversion, finding a happy baby. So if you're coming out of headstand, take your time and move into a child's pose to find that counter stretch. If you're with me in happy baby, maybe you start to straighten out the legs and find happy partner instead. Finding that nice stretch in the center line, in that center split. And then when you're ready, releasing down, taking any final movements that maybe you're craving that I did not call for. And release your body to take up as much space as you need. Allowing anything that happened to you today that no longer serves you go. This is what we worked for. This moment of bliss. Can you allow anything that poisons your thoughts, your well-being? Can you let that go here? Creating that safe space for yourself. A safe, brave space. Taking a full body scan, relaxing through the space between the brows. Releasing in the jaw. Allow the shoulders to melt into the mat. Allow the chest to soften. Soften through the hips. Soften through the tops of the thighs. Unbuckle the knees. Release the calves. Release the toes. Starting to bring awareness back to the body, we wiggle our fingers. Inviting life back into our toes, we give those a little wiggle. Bringing both knees into the chest, give yourself a squeeze. Thank yourself for showing up on your mats today for self-love and self-care. And choosing either the right side or the left side to fall onto a fetal position using your bicep as a pillow. This pose represents rebirth. Knowing that every single time we step off our mats is an opportunity for us to begin again. The relationship with oneself reflects one's relationship to the world. Pressing the palms into the earth, rising up to a seated position, facing any which way you desire. Bringing the palms together, all this beautiful energy we've created as a community. Palms come down. Through center of our heart for gratitude. Take one more final breath together. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, release. The perfectly imperfect student in me bows, honors, and respects the teachers in all of you. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through your Wednesday night flow. Namaste. Yogis, thanks again so much for joining me. If you're here on YouTube or IG Live, welcome back. And remember, 100% of these donations, the donation links are in my bio, by the way, are going to the Brave Space Alliance. That is the first Black-led, trans-led LGBTQ center located in the south side of Chicago. This safe space allows their community to have a seat at the table. So if you have the time, if you have the means, please feel free to donate. I'll send the donation in on Friday. And every Wednesday we play with a different flow. So if you're not busy, come join us. And I hope to see you guys again. Happy hump day. Mwah.